Hey everybody, Josh here. It's in a World Alternative Media here, and we have some breaking news tonight, very late at night I might add, that could change the face of global geopolitics for a very long time down the road. And that news is that we have evidence that none other than Kim Jong-un is dead. Now, it's based on one confirmation, not another. So we do not know 100% yet, but what we do know thus far is that there is HKS TV, Hong Kong state or satellite television, I should add, is confirming that Kim Jong-un is dead. As Zora Suleiman says on Twitter here, there's been no confirmation from other sources yet. However, Hong Kong satellite television, HKS TV, says North Korea leader Kim Jong-un is dead. There are multiple people tonight talking about this. No news coverage yet outside of Hong Kong satellite television. We'll go into this more in a moment. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Adam Housley says HKS TV, Hong Kong satellite television says North Korea leader Kim Jong-un is dead. No U.S. confirmation at this point. And we have another tweet coming up here from Mike Knowles, who says Kim Jong-un may or may not be dead or in a vegetative state. Now, we have been hearing rumors for days. I first reported about 4 or 5 days ago on the possibility that Kim Jong-un might be dead. And this article, I know, from CNN. Let's not trust the article, but let's go off of what we have right now, if this ad will go away, as it says, U.S. monitoring intelligence that North Korea leader Kim Jong-un is in danger after surgery. In grave danger, it adds. And at the time, they said the U.S. is monitoring intelligence that suggests North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, is in grave danger after undergoing a previous surgery, according to U.S. official with direct knowledge. A second source familiar with the intelligence told CNN that the U.S. has been closely monitoring reports on Kim's death. Kim recently missed a celebration of his grandfather's birthday on April 15th, which raised speculation about his well-being. He had been seen 4 days before that at a government meeting. And I should add that what the original reports was that he had a surgery and that surgery went wrong, but we're hearing more that he had some kind of heart problems. And he was then possibly evacuated. I'll bring that up on the screen right away. He was possibly evacuated from Pyongyang. And let's see what it says here. Yeah, okay, I'll accept your spying. Just show me the article. Thank you. As this article from The Mirror had said, Kim Jong-un's sister tyrant in waiting. So there's a possibility that he might be replaced in the next few days. We'll go over that in a moment. But what I'm trying to get to here is this article. Kim Jong-un evacuated from Pyongyang, reports say. If you're just joining us, we have confirmed reports from Hong Kong, but nowhere else, that Kim Jong-un, leader of North Korea, dictator, possible Chinese puppet, is dead. As this said from April 24th, it says, Kim Jong-un may have left Pyongyang and could be sheltering in an undisclosed location on North Korea's eastern coast, according to multiple press reports. The North Korean leader's absence triggered wild speculations regarding the state of his health this week following unconfirmed reports Kim was in critical condition after receiving heart surgery. Now, we found out on the 24th of April, as it says in The Guardian, Kim Jong-un, China sends doctors to check on health, according to reports. Speculation continues about dictator's condition after reports of heart surgery and absence from important events. Now, of course, Kim Jong-un's grandfather, Kim Il-sung, died of a heart attack. Now we are getting conflicting, but nonetheless confirmed on the at the hands of Hong Kong anyway, that Kim Jong-un is dead. Now, again, we do not have full confirmation yet. It's late at night. It is 1:30 a.m. where I am, and I'm doing what I can with the information at hand. Other medias aren't reporting on this, and I think it's important that we get this out there because there are multiple things that come with a story like this that are important. Not who leads the North Korean government, but who leads many of the governments in that region, and that goes back to China, and I'll go back to that in a moment. As this IBT report says, China sends medical team to North Korea even as Beijing-backed TV boss claims Kim Jong-un is dead, says has very solid source. China sent in medical team to advise North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, it is being reported. Meanwhile, HKS TV top official says he has very solid source to confirm Kim Jong-un death. And they're putting a lot on the line here because they are now outwardly saying that Kim Jong-un is indeed dead. So let me bring up here HKS TV so we can look deeper into this. We're doing a lot of research as we are dealing with this issue. Hong Kong satellite television. All right. So HKS TV, Hong Kong satellite television, is a satellite television network consisting of 2 channels owned by Hong Kong Satellite TV International Media Group based in Hong Kong. Availability Hong Kong, China, Taiwan. Now, we know how controlled the media is in China. We know how controlled the media is everywhere. Nonetheless, we cannot confirm. We can only say that they are confirming because we're not getting any other info. But what we do know is for quite some time, over the last about 4 or 5 days, we've been hearing a lot of reports that Kim Jong-un is in serious condition, critical condition, possibly had a heart attack, possibly in a vegetative state. And now we're hearing that he is dead, though there's no confirmation yet from the U.S. government. So it's very hard to make any definitive decision on the story right now. We are just reporting on what we have, unconfirmed but confirmed by one source, who is putting their whole career on the line to say that this is the case. Now, of course, China, I've always believed that China has been utilizing North Korea as a puppet state. A puppet state meaning that, first of all, let me just go back quickly to give some context so you guys know what I'm talking about. If you're just joining us, make sure to hit that like button. I'll go back into the story very shortly. But technically, here's the issue. In the early 1970s, Kissinger met with Mao Zedong. Obviously, Mao Zedong was responsible for around 50 million deaths. Now, it was against Nixon's wishes. He created an alliance with China, which led to a massive monopoly on trade in China. And by the dictation of the U.S., led into the creation of the Trilateral Commission under Zbigniew Brzezinski, who ruled under Jimmy Carter. And, of course, Zbigniew Brzezinski was a big fan of technocracy. And I believe that China was propped up as a fascio-communist state, as a guinea pig state, if you will, in order to bring upon technocracy, which Zbigniew Brzezinski openly talked about. And we saw that with social credit over the years, facial recognition, AI, unbelievable crackdowns on individual liberty in China. And now, as we see power shift globally, now we see these reports from Hong Kong satellite television that Kim Jong-un is dead. And I've always believed that North Korea was a puppet state of China. And there's been an abundance of evidence of just that. And it's the only reason they've been able to reign as long as they have, without being obliterated. And again, we've heard nothing but stories of potential war for years regarding North Korea and the U.S. Obviously, their missiles and their missile tests failed time and time again. There was an alliance made that was quite historic, but nonetheless, one has to remember that it would be... Remember the fire and fury comments from years ago from Trump. You have to understand that the notion of North Korea being able to shoot the U.S. with a missile is unbelievably difficult, especially since the U.S. was shutting down the missiles as they took off. Anyway, We have some people joining us right now. Make sure to hit that like button, send in the super chat questions, all that. But anyway, what we are hearing currently, and we don't have full confirmation, we just have confirmation from Hong Kong satellite television that Kim Jong-un is dead. And as Syndicat writes in the chat, his sister will take over. Well, that's something I wanted to get into. Because, of course, it doesn't matter who the figurehead is. It's the absurdity and the tyranny and the criminality of the state that reigns strong. Kim Jong-un's sister, tyrant in waiting if illness claims her dictator brother. Of course, recently Donald Trump wished Kim Jong-un well. As all these reports came out that he was having heart issues, possibly even in a vegetative state. As this says, exclusive, Kim Jong will be accepted as the next leader of North Korea regardless of her gender, totalitarian regime expert Professor Natasha Lindstad has said, because her family are viewed as gods in the country. Politicians are viewed, unfortunately, as gods or as sports teams, at least in the U.S. as well. But this is a different situation. What we're witnessing here is it's a whole new level of cult. The sister of North Korea dictator Kim Jong-un is lying in wait to seize power if her sibling dies from mystery illness, which has struck him down. And remember, there's evidence that Kim Jong-un killed his own brother a couple years ago. Kim Yo-jong could be even more ruthless than her brother has been in his 8-year rule, experts warn. Well, that sounds like fear-mongering, but nonetheless, as it continues here, it says, the Supreme Leader has shown no mercy to dissenters in the world's most secretive country, including members of his family. He has also provoked the U.S. and its ally, South Korea, with missile tests, demonstrating his ability to strike both countries. And there are fears his sister, who shares his passion for weapons development, could do more of the same to show her mettle. Now, of course, it's all speculation. And I hate this tabloid nonsense. Nonetheless, what we are hearing right now from multiple sources, all originating from one source, which is Hong Kong satellite television, as Zora Suleiman says, there's no confirmation from other sources yet. However, Hong Kong satellite television, HKSTV, says North Korea leader Kim Jong-un is dead. We're hearing that from others as well, including Adam Housley, who says HKSTV, Hong Kong satellite television, says North Korea leader Kim Jong-un is dead. No U.S. confirmation at this point. Obviously, as I report this, guys, it's 1:41 a.m., so bear with me here. I was ready to go to bed when this came out. There are strange images coming out, like this one, out of the IB Times, that show what appears to be Kim Jong-un laying dead in a casket. But, of course, I feel as though these are not to be trusted. I'm seeing this a lot all over the internet. I cannot find any confirmation on it, and for that reason, I don't want to present it, though Hong Kong satellite television is presenting it. Which, you have to do whatever you will with that. I cannot confirm that. As an honest human being, I cannot say that that is a real image yet. Again, it's the middle of the night here on Central Time anyway. I was about to go to bed, and then I'm hearing this information. Of course, I've been following the information regarding Kim Jong-un for the last 5 days. Zach Dowland says, thanks for the breaking news updates. Happy to do it. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Super chats are appreciated. Sent Australian $2 in the super chat. Says, keep up your efforts, Josh. Always appreciate it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the super chats as always, guys. This is breaking news that cannot be confirmed outside of what Hong Kong state television says. So again, please don't misquote me here, guys. I've been getting misquoted a lot lately. I want to be clear. What we have right now is a so-called confirmation from Hong Kong satellite television that we cannot back up without further evidence. The U.S. government hasn't confirmed it yet. Peter Brown says this dickhead is not dead is all BS. Well, you don't know that, and I don't know if he's alive or dead, but what I do know is Hong Kong satellite television is insisting that he's dead. And what I'm hearing from here, we'll bring this up. And again, I cannot trust. I cannot trust CNN. I cannot trust any of these medias. But what I do have is multiple sources out of China insisting that he's dead, and even some interesting images going around of what appears to be his dead body, though could very well be faked. We know this as a very real possibility. As this says, China sends medical team to North Korea even as Beijing-backed TV boss claims Kim Jong-un is dead, says he has very solid source. China sent in a medical team to advise North Korea leader Kim Jong-un. It is being reported. Meanwhile, HKS TV top official says he has very solid source to confirm Kim Jong-un death. Now, let's see the viewership of HKS TV. It's very hard to find good information, but it's one of the most popular channels in Hong Kong, and of course, very much controlled by the government. The government isn't to be trusted. However, I don't see really the benefit in lying about this, but it could very well be a lie. I don't know. One thing I know is that we are getting a lot of information on this coming out from HKS TV. Earlier, we had information that Kim Jong-un was evacuated from Pyongyang. And, of course, that China was sending doctors to check on health. We heard that possibly he had a heart attack and that he was possibly in a vegetative state. Trump sent his best wishes, whatever that might be, to Kim Jong-un. And now we're hearing a lot about the potential of his sister taking over. But so much nonsense, speculation happening here that I do not want to give any clout to. However, we do have very interesting news coming out nonetheless that Hong Kong satellite television has confirmed, and no one else so far. And I'm going to bring up some more info on the screen right away. Big shout out to Supernova Dust, who sent $10 in the super chat. Says, cheers. Thank you so much for the super chat. As always, I really appreciate those super chats. They go a long way here at WHAM. Keep us up and running. Michael Fernandez says, the Rona got him, but China is keeping it a secret. I don't know about the coronavirus. Let's be realistic here. But also, it appears that he had a heart condition. Now, we know he wasn't in the best shape. We know his grandfather had a heart attack, Kim Il-sung. But that's all we really know. But what is interesting is that we've been hearing reports that are very mysterious for days. He didn't show up to his grandfather's birthday celebration on April 15th. Which caused a lot of speculation. Robert McKenna says, did China take him out? Well, possibly. Look, here's the thing. We don't know this yet. I don't want to speculate. I hate speculating. But what I do know is that China has been part of a massive control power shift in the last several months, especially with the coronavirus happening. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if the guinea pig state of China, North Korea, was in a transfer of power as well. I'm going to continue looking up the latest here because it's so up to the moment. No major news networks have been reporting this except for Hong Kong satellite television, which insists that he's dead. I'm going to see, there's so many fake images out there right now. I got to be careful about showing it on the screen, so just give me a second and let me confirm there's no nudity or anything like that. That could pop up here because again, it's live on YouTube and you never know what might happen. I don't need my account being taken down right now, but I keep seeing this image everywhere of allegedly from Hong Kong satellite television of Kim Jong-un dead, but that could literally be anyone. I refuse to acknowledge that as evidence of any kind. Nonetheless, what we do have is Hong Kong satellite television confirming that he's dead. Originally, it was that the boss insisted that he was dead, and now we're getting new updates saying that he's definitely dead. Which is a bit of a step up from what we were hearing earlier. Stephen A says it's Photoshop. I have no doubt that it's probably Photoshop, but what I do know is it's being taken from television in Hong Kong, from a major channel that millions of people watch, that is very likely state-run, even if unofficially, because it is Hong Kong after all. And we are seeing evidence right now, as I've been reporting on my channel lately, of unrest starting to brew in Hong Kong after this whole crisis. Well, it's in a second wave, allegedly, according to the Chinese government, which isn't to be trusted, but nonetheless, it's allegedly in another wave in the city of Harbin of 10 million people. But nonetheless, let's see what we got in the chat here. Kim Winkler says, greets from Portugal. Josh, keep up the good work. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the comments. Michael Fernandez says, Josh has the best info on YouTube. Real, you know what? I appreciate the kind words. Right now, I'm just being objective in the sense that I cannot confirm this, and I refuse to say that he's dead. That's why there's a big question mark there. But there are reports coming out from Hong Kong satellite television that Kim Jong-un is 100% dead. But how much clout are we putting on this? I'm gonna look into the Twitterverse a little bit here, because we're hearing multiple stories here regarding possible vegetative state and others saying that he's just plain dead. Let me see here. What can we do here? I'm gonna look it up. Kim Jong-un dead. It's interesting because mainstream media is not talking about this right now, except for that Hong Kong station that claims to confirm it. And obviously the Twitterverse is very reactionary, so I cannot utilize this as evidence, but it would be interesting to hear certain officials say something. I'm seeing a lot of stuff online. Obviously, Kim Jong-un has been one of the most talked about figures of the last 10 years globally. There's no doubt about it. He was involved in... Well, he's a subject, obviously, of the fire and fury comments by Donald Trump previously last year, or 2 years ago, I should add. Again, I apologize if I'm a little slow right now. It's the middle of the night. I was about to go to bed, and all this came out. But he was obviously the subject of the fire and fury comments. We were talking about, at one point, thousands of ships surrounding North Korea at its shores, and the possibility of war. And then there's this historic alliance, and I don't believe any of it. It's all a script. And it's a guinea pig state of China, which the U.S. is in the works of creating a massive power shift with, that goes back all the way to the 1970s under Kissinger. But nonetheless, he has been one of the most talked about people of the last 10 years. After his father, Kim Jong-il, died, obviously his grandfather, Kim Il-sung, died of a heart attack. And you can't forget Dennis Rodman going and hanging out with Kim Jong-un, and you know, it goes from, oh, he seems to be better than his father, he seems to be a kind man, he's not going to do what his father did, and then he's like, I'm a god, and everyone's like, okay. And he's talking, people recently in this coronavirus crisis were shot dead in the streets for coughing. So again, if you're just joining us, there are conflicting reports, but nonetheless reports coming out of Hong Kong satellite television, allegedly, according to them, confirming the death of Kim Jong-un. And it's hard to report this stuff in the middle of the night, my friends. I'm very tired, but you know, I got a job to do. And what we see here is not evidence, but an interesting report, especially considering the words of the HKS TV top official that Kim Jong-un is dead. He says he has very solid sources, and previously, as the article had said, if I can get out of these ads that are driving me crazy here, even as China has sent in a medical team to North Korea to advise the leader, a Beijing-backed satellite TV channel's vice director, who is also a niece of a Chinese foreign minister, that's interesting to add, has claimed that Kim Jong-un is dead. Vice director of HKS-TV, Hong Kong satellite television, told her 15 million followers on Weibo that her Kim Jong-un death claim was backed by a very solid source. I would like to see these sources. Of course, they look up to him like a god. It's pretty disgusting, but I would like to hear what Michael Malice has to say about this. But as it says, her post on Weibo since then has been shared widely on social media. There's also a viral image that is being shared that claims to show Kim Jong-un lying dead inside a glass coffin. While these claims cannot be verified independently, the timing of it certainly makes one curious, as now China has sent in a medical team. Reuters reported that China has dispatched a team to North Korea, including medical experts, to advise on North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, according to 3 people familiar with the situation. At this point, until there is a report from either KCNA or other state media, there is no way to verify whether Kim Jong-un is alive or dead. And obviously, this was from 6 hours ago, this article, and now we have the television station saying, without a doubt, that he is dead. But we still don't have the full evidence, as this says, breaking Beijing-backed satellite TV channel's vice director, also a niece of Chinese foreign minister, has claimed that Kim Jong-un is dead. She says that she got told this from a very solid source. She also has over 15 million followers on Weibo, and now we are getting information from Hong Kong satellite television that he has indeed died. MWLI 1984 on the YouTube chat says, if Kim Jong-un is dead, then there will be a massive buildup of troops in the border areas of China, and there is no reports of a buildup of Chinese troops on the border. Stop believing fake news. I'm not believing fake news. If you've been watching, I am saying there are no confirmations other than this information that's coming out from Hong Kong satellite television and from one of the top officials at Hong Kong satellite television, who is a niece of one of the top foreign ministers in China. And obviously, China has sent in people to look at, for medical expertise anyway, to look at Kim Jong-un. We aren't getting U.S. reports yet, but nonetheless, I think it's important to report on because no one else is reporting on it. It's very strange, and I think if we are going to have the first report on this, the first news report on this subject, we may as well talk about the convenience of the situation if the evidence adds up after all is said and done. That being that we have, well, the niece of a foreign minister saying that Kim Jong-un is dead, but nonetheless, we also have the information regarding China, as I've been reporting, and the Chinese global COVID takeover and many other reports that I've been talking about lately, including about Wuhan, where the U.S. government gave $3.7 million to a Wuhan lab, which was studying coronavirus in bats. In order to study coronavirus in bats, it was 96% the same as the novel coronavirus that we've seen spread around, which now the U.S. State Department admits that they are investigating, as well as the Department of Defense. It's interesting, going back to Henry Kissinger meeting with Mao Zedong and the creation of the Trilateral Commission in China under Zbigniew Brzezinski during Jimmy Carter's administration, and the creation of a technocratic superstate in China, creating a massive monopoly on trade and propping up China as not just an ally, but the next world order. It's interesting that their puppet state is dealing with this right now, and it's very mysterious, and I think it needs to be talked about. And in the situation that we're currently in, with the news being the first media to talk about this issue, I think it's important that we put this information forward. If it turns out he's dead, we have historic information. If he turns out he's not dead, as I've said, I cannot confirm. I can only say what Hong Kong satellite television is saying and what they claim are definitive sources. Again, no mainstream media has reported on it yet. They're always quite late to the draw unless they're on board with something, but nonetheless, it would be interesting if a Chinese puppet state is immediately taken over by China following this development. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Again, if you're just tuning in, there are reports from Hong Kong satellite television that say that they confirm that Kim Jong-un is dead just 6 hours after the head of this station, the niece of a foreign minister in China, claimed that she had definitive sources that prove that he's dead. Which is a very, very irresponsible thing to say if you don't have that information. So I have to wonder, with her 15 million followers and her connection with government, that she would risk throwing her career away on such a crazy bet if it wasn't true. But very well could be untrue. We've gotten a lot of conflicting reports going back to the 20th regarding this situation. But we're getting very interesting reports as of today. Bear with me, it is 2 a.m. here, and I was about to go to bed when I found out the most recent tweets, which were not being reported by mainstream media. Let's see. Stez Moret says, who would be his successor? His successor would be his sister. And I'll bring that up on the screen for you guys just in one moment here. His sister is expected to be the successor. If this article loads, I'll show you it. Uno momento, por favor. Kim Jong-un's sister, tyrant in waiting, if illness claims her dictator brother's life. And as it says, exclusive Kim Yo-jong. Kim Yo-jong, names are always backwards, will be accepted as the next leader of North Korea regardless of her gender. Totalitarian regime expert Professor Natasha Lindstad has said, because her family are viewed as gods in the country. Now, that's what people are expecting to see if he were to die. They always have a successor waiting. We can't forget that Kim Jong-un had his brother, one of his brothers, killed a couple years ago in airport, I believe in Kuala Lumpur. And we are learning things by the moment here, so bear with us on our facts because we cannot confirm nor deny. What we do have is the Hong Kong satellite television making a claim. And again, if it's predictive fake news that I'm just repeating, it's funny because no mainstream media is reporting on this at all right now, at all, period. We have very strange information coming out, and we are already living in the twilight zone, folks. If you haven't noticed, this year has been very strange. I'm pretty sure everyone's noticed. Michael Fernandez has hit the effing like button for Josh, staying up late for us. I appreciate it. Yes, hitting that like button helps a lot. Sharing on social media helps a lot. And sending in those super chats, checking those links below, and joining our new newsletter at www.iamband.com helps a lot too. Anyway, I'm trying to find the most up-to-date information, but it's the middle of the night. No one's really talking about it outside of China at the moment. There are images that are coming out that claim to show Kim Jong-un dead, but I cannot find any evidence that it's real. And it could easily be photoshopped. Easily. So that is not to be trusted. However, we do have very interesting information coming out from Hong Kong satellite television regarding Kim Jong-un being dead. Doesn't seem like he's been around that long, but nonetheless, it's interesting because he has been the subject of much controversy, to say the least, as a brutal dictator over the last several years. This person says, I see Kim Jong-un has replaced Prince Philip as a current Are They Dead champion of 2020. Now, this person says these are fake reports. Kim Jong-un is not dead. The picture attributed these reports is photoshopped from Kim's dad's funeral. But that's not the reason why the reports are coming out. We see that photo, and this person probably very rightly points out that it's actually Kim Jong-un's body they replace his head with. Photoshopped, no doubt. That's not where the reports are coming from. The reports are coming from Hong Kong satellite television, which is essentially one of the biggest television stations in Hong Kong. And obviously, we're hearing from this woman that runs the station who's a niece of a Chinese foreign minister, that she has very good evidence to support what she's saying. I'm not going to or deny because I cannot prove one way or another. All I know is we have these reports and it's worth reporting on. This says Vice Director of HKS TV, Hong Kong Satellite Television, says North Korea leader Kim Jong-un is dead. And we're getting a lot of this. And a lot of it's coming from Iran news as well. Very, very interesting indeed, folks. We are living in a very strange time. But if this were the case, then Kim Jong-un's sister, who is in this article, if it loads, would become the new leader, the new dictator of North Korea. I'll let that load. Bring my face up on the screen here for a moment. So this is breaking news. If you just joined us, make sure to hit that like button. We are getting information that Kim Jong-un is dead, according to Hong Kong Satellite Television. One person says, check Rodman's Twitter. Can Dennis Rodman write? Is he able to write things? Serious question. I'll check while we're looking here. But if you just joined us, the information is conflicting. I cannot confirm or deny, but we do have interesting sources coming from Hong Kong Satellite Television that say 100% they've confirmed that Kim Jong-un is dead. And we've been talking about it, of course, for several days now. And it would definitely make 2020 a little bit stranger than it already was. But I'm looking at Dennis Rodman's Twitter, and I am seeing no evidence of him saying anything. He hasn't done anything since April 10th. Okay, so that's not a good place to look. But imagine that. One of the biggest dictators in the world allegedly dies, and we're looking at Dennis Rodman's Twitter. Again, more evidence of how strange the world we live in is, folks. But if you're just joining us, make sure to hit that like button. Super chats help a lot as well, and sharing this video on social media. We heard conflicting reports initially out of terrible publications, I know, like CNN, that Kim Jong-un's health was not good and that he was in grave danger after a surgery. And we're hearing that that surgery was actually for his heart, on his heart. And then we find other information like this one out of UPI.com, if this loads, that says Kim Jong-un evacuated from Pyongyang, reports say. And then we get information like this: Kim Jong-un, China sends doctors to check on health. And then earlier today or yesterday, wherever you are in the world, we are hearing Beijing-backed satellite TV channel's vice director, also a niece of Chinese foreign minister, has claimed that Kim Jong-un is dead. She says that she got told this from a very solid source. She also has over 15 million followers on Weibo. A very interesting source indeed. And now, after all this is said and done, within the last hour, we are learning this. There's been no confirmation from other sources yet. However, Hong Kong Satellite Television, HKS TV, says North Korea leader Kim Jong-un is dead. This is very interesting, but again, we cannot confirm or deny. GGG6 says McDonald's in North Korea is going to lose so much business now. Ouch. Robert McKenna says he was blowing up like a balloon. James Jagger says Kim's sister can be Rocket Girl. Here we go. Too soon? I don't know. Murdering people is kind of warrants the jokes. But again, we cannot confirm or deny. We just have interesting information coming out of Hong Kong Satellite Television, and it's worth talking about. At the end of the day, it could all be nonsense, and this channel will bury itself, obviously connected to government. It'll completely bury itself, and we'll go on with whatever else is in the news. But nonetheless, what's happening right now is we're hearing conflicting reports, but nonetheless confirmed allegedly by, well, totally by Hong Kong Satellite Television, but I haven't seen the sources. They haven't released their sources. They're just saying that he's definitely dead. So There's not much one can add to that other than this would definitely shift power dramatically over. I think it would also give China an open approach in North Korea, especially considering China propped up North Korea as a puppet state. It would give them a perfect opportunity to take over. SMH in Namdar says fake propaganda. You, my friend, haven't been listening because we cannot confirm or deny any of this. And to say one way or another is doing something you just simply can't without the sources. We just have information coming out, not being reported by mainstream media, and what kind of propaganda would this be for? We're just talking about what appears to be information coming to light here, coming out of Hong Kong satellite television that seems to confirm that he's dead, but that's just them. There's no U.S. confirmation yet, and it's very conflicting. It's a very conflicting issue right now, and we cannot confirm or deny. But propaganda is a word that I do not think is warranted here. One person says, the Nomad Pack says he is not dead, just hiding. Possibly, that could very well be the case, as we did hear information previously regarding, and I'll pull it up here if I can. All right. Of Kim Jong-un being evacuated from Pyongyang, according to reports. But we're hearing news that it was his heart and that he was already in a vegetative state days ago. I promised people that I would keep up with the information as we hear about it, and I'm doing just that. I think it's important at least to cover this as it breaks. No mainstream media has talked about it yet, and if it does end up being that history, we will be the first channel to report on it, and we'll also incorporate in with it information on how China is trying to take over the world, which I think is very important to add to this whole mix. Hugo Alvarez says also, would it be good for the people of North Korea if he is dead? I don't think it would make much of a difference. They'll replace him with another puppet dictator, which would be his sister, and a lot of people say that she's even worse, but it's all speculation. Everything's speculation, and I hate the speculation. But what we do know is that there are medias that are claiming that he is dead, and they are saying that they've got confirmed sourcing. Mikey B says, I reported it last week. Yes, so did I. A week ago, there was evidence that his surgery went wrong. Now we're getting information from Hong Kong satellite television, whose vice director is a niece of one of the foreign ministers in China, who's claiming that she has solid sources that prove that Kim Jong-un is dead. But again, we are basing it on that, and there's literally no other evidence. But there's no denial either, and I think it's important that we report the information as it comes out. So this is where I am right now, and that's what I'm trying to do. But Andy Pape says, according to South Korea TV, he is still alive. But again, they don't have any information on that either. They do not have inside baseball on that. So, here's the thing. We're working with people who say they have sources but don't provide their sources on one side, and then the same thing on the other side. And then it just becomes a blur of so-called facts. Rhonda says Trumpy probably had him drink bleach. Oh no, it says I can see that North Korea may blame this on U.S. Yeah, but they won't have much legs to stand on. I wouldn't doubt it if it was, but I honestly think this is part of a power shift with China. Let's see. Tom Mize says it wouldn't matter because it's like whack-a-mole. This is true. But anyway, I really appreciate everyone joining us. If you haven't already, hit that like button. This is very interesting news, if true. And as it says in the title, Kim Jong-un confirmed dead with a question mark because we cannot confirm it, but he's being confirmed dead without the sourcing being made public again by Hong Kong satellite television. Trevor Botten says the information that I've received from inside China, Kim Jong-un is dead. Free Fire says Kim Jong-un dead. Hugo Alvarez says, why not go in and take care of the problem once and for all and make it a free country? Well, that can be quite oxymoronic at the end of the day. I mean, first of all, it's a puppet state of China, which is a fascio-communist dictatorship, and second of all, it's built on on the grounds of people believing the guy is a god, though there have been people sneaking in propaganda to help wake up the populace, and I think inevitably long term, I am optimistic about the place, but in the short term, going in and changing things, they're going to be seen as invaders. It's not going to work out, and then they're going to be replaced by some other puppet government that China's probably going to have their hands in. I don't think replacing one government with another is a good idea. It's just collecting one form of collectivism with another, but nonetheless, this is what we're dealing with right now. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, check those links below, see how you can keep us up and running. We really appreciate anything you can do to help keep us alive here at WHAM. Guys, we really appreciate you joining us today. Make sure to share this video, and let me know what you think in the comments regarding this strange situation, because the confirmations, we have not gotten any in about 5 days. All I know is that right now we're getting information from Hong Kong satellite television that seems to say that they've confirmed that he's dead, but there is no U.S. confirmation yet. So again, let's not jump to any conclusions. Let's just report the news as it comes out, and this is the news, and this is what's coming out. So anyway, Hugo Alvarez says thank you for the news. Thank you as well to you. And I really appreciate everyone joining us today. Hit that like button, share it, and wow, 46 minutes. It's 2:15 a.m. here, so I'm getting the F out of here because I need to sleep. And the news doesn't sleep, my friends, especially when it's in Asia, I found out. So those super chats went a long way. I really appreciate all of that, and you guys are all awesome for getting up with me, or if some of you are on the other side of the world, good morning, afternoon, night, whatever it might be. I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, or whatever it is. Stay safe out there, disobey the authorities, and be a free human being, and don't allow people to encroach on you until you end up in a situation where you too are ruled by a North Korean style governance system. Oh no, says slow poisoning with Taco Bell and McDonald's. Oh wait, that's us. Oh, ouch. Not me. Been 13 years strong now without McDonald's or any of that crap. Anyway, appreciate everyone joining us today. And until next time, this is Josh Sierton signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.